Oh my goodness, the Hocus Pocus marathons, the pumpkin patch, the sweater, the boots, the crisp fall air, along with the PSLs, the pumpkin cookies, Thanksgiving dinner the next day, office Christmas parties, Aunt Sally crying because you're not eating her pumpkin pie because she tells you she will die next year. How do you stay keto during the holidays? I got you covered. And trust me when I say it's not gonna be by you bringing a boring vegetable tray. Well, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shelly. I am a keto dietitian, and many of you know I struggled with my weight gain after the birth of my second child. He's almost 8 now. I could not get rid of the last 15 pounds of baby weight, and it was a 3-year cycle that it was just stuck. I dive into the emotional and physical toll that it took on me, my life. I tell you how I was in pain in my personal story. You're gonna wanna watch the video when we're done with this one because I promise you can relate. You know, I'm a busy mom. I was running a business and I was mad. I talk about the reason that I transitioned from the standard American diet, which I now call the SAD diet because it nearly killed me, to the keto and anti-inflammatory lifestyle. This is not a Whole Foods kitchen, y'all. This is a real kitchen. We work 8 to 5 in here. I have 2 kids, and how are we gonna stay keto during the holidays? Because I even have little school parties that I gotta do for them. And by the holidays, I mean that time from Halloween through the new year, because we're all doing something. The stores are loaded with stuff. And I'm gonna share with you what I do and what I share with my clients. And number one, I want you to really focus on water. A lot of times when there's a weather change, we don't drink enough water. And water is related to weight loss. We talk about it in so many of my videos, and folks say, I'm tired of you talking about this. Well, I'm gonna keep talking about it because so many of us make a mistake. There's 2 studies I always quote. The first one is a group of overweight adults who added just a liter of water a day. In a year, they lost 4.4 pounds. And then I talk about always this other study where they took overweight adults, they gave them water before each meal, and they in a 12-week period of time lost 4.4 pounds. So you're gonna strategically drink your water during the holidays. We're gonna keep drinking it 8 ounces when we wake up, 16 to 24 ounces with your meals, but you are gonna start drinking a full 16 to 24 ounces before you hit every single holiday function. You're also gonna drink some if you're at work and somebody comes in with the cookies and the donuts and all those wonderful trays. When you see that, you're gonna go drink some water. You're gonna get away from it quickly. You're gonna hurry up and quench that thirst. You're gonna drink it while you're driving to an event. You're gonna drink it when you're driving back home from an event. And if the thought of water aggravates you or you feel like it's too cold, I want you to bring peppermint tea or keto cocoa to work. It's really no secret, gang, that so many of our office mates or even some of our own personal clients love to bring a snack. And by snack, I mean they may bring some cookies, they may bring some fun-sized Snickers bars, and we go, we don't want to hurt feelings. Go get you some peppermint tea. Now, we talked about peppermint tea before and its wonderful glory of helping with our digestive system, our gas and bloating. I will link below in this video. What I want you to think about though is a little different. Peppermint tea smells good. You know what I mean? Like when we cook, we heat up the water, and most of us at work is gonna be in a microwave. We put that tea bag in there. It's just, You know, I really only drink peppermint tea during the holiday time, or if I get a headache. You know, there are studies that show that peppermint tea can act as a muscle relaxant, which can help decrease pain, which can help with, decreasing any headaches or migraines. While I'm personally not a fan of the keto cocos, I just don't like the taste. It's not anything against them. They are available at many of your stores. You can find them at Drug Emporium. You can find them online. The next one, number 3, is you want to match party foods. Go ahead and match your party foods. Now, this sounds a little weird. Like, what do you mean by matching? Well, it's a little bizarre if you go into a party and they're eating cookies and you just grab some celery. It just doesn't work like that. If you are, and this is where you have to judge your guest, sometimes we feel like that's not friendly, but we know what party is gonna be the sweet party. In other words, they're gonna have cookies, they're gonna have candies, they're gonna have cake. We know the chips and dip party. You know, that's usually the one where maybe we're watching the game or a bowl game. If you know you're going to the sweet party, you can do a couple things. If you are feeling feisty in the kitchen, go ahead and make my Joanna Gaines recipe. I did a video here, I'll link it below. You could also purchase the high key snacks. There are a lot of your supermarkets. And for your chips and salsa, you can bring along pork rinds, and that way it matches, it looks okay, you can still enjoy. Number 4 is have an emergency snack in your desk. Just one. Why? It is a known fact, we kind of talked about this earlier, that one of your coworkers, that Sally, who is a wonderful client, loves to bring y'all a treat. You also may have the client who is Aunt Bertha and loves to bring in fruitcake. You have the parents who bring in the leftover Halloween candy. You have the kids, this is my vice, my kids who bring home the wonderful candies that they had in the Thanksgiving and Christmas parties at their school. So what do? You pack one item in your desk. What I encourage folks to do is just buy that item. Well, some folks will say, well, that's expensive. I'm like, yeah, but you're saving yourself. What I'm a fan of, I love the Lily's chocolate peanut butter cups. Chalk Zero has some of those peanut butter cups. There's also High Key, which has some. Again, just have one in your drawer, and if you're really feeling it, it's just, okay, let me take a bite of this and I'll be okay. The next thing to think about is stick with the meal as much as possible. If you have a say-so in the holiday party planning, in the meal planning, in the day planning, really push a meal. Why? Because that is just what you're gonna eat. It's really bad when it's just a snacky party or a snacky event because we tend to talk and eat. Whereas if it's a meal, we're sitting, we're eating, and we're done. My next tip, bring a hot vegetable dish. Holiday meals are known to have a huge starchy side, and I encourage folks not to make over those recipes with heart. For example, Aunt Sally's cornbread dressing. I'm from Louisiana, it would be the rice dressing, or dirty rice as some folks call. You don't wanna bring a vegetable tray. Vegetable trays really don't scream holiday. If it was 4th of July, it'd be a different story. You wanna bring something hot and something pretty. I really encourage some type of roasted broccoli, some type of roasted vegetable. In my clinic, we go over a roasted Brussels sprouts recipe. It just looks good and it fits the theme. My next one is say no to toppings. Typically your toppings, and again, this is for holiday season, an example is gravy. They're usually made with flour. That's things we forget about. So keep things plain. Now, if it's a restaurant party that y'all are going to for your office, just ask them to put things on the side. Most restaurants are gonna be so pleasant about it. And if it's a restaurant, this is my next tip for you, go for meat and double vegetables. Because typically it may be some meat, some type of weird potato side, and some type of vegetable. And I get it, we follow keto in here, but often at a restaurant, you almost have to think low carb. And then fingers crossed, you can ask them if they have olive oil and vinegar, and you can drizzle that on top of their vegetables. A lot of times they do. I've been doing this a little bit lately if one of our coworkers goes pick up lunch and it's there. Now, the next thing is, we kind of talked about this earlier, was about having one candy at home. So we talked about work, and we're talking about at home. Why? Because those kids love to bring those bags of candy in. We just love it. No, we don't. No, we don't. My next tip is limit maltitol. Now, a lot of us know my hate for maltitol. I did a video on keto label reading where I talk about it, and I want you to go and look at it just so that it can give you some, with the reasons. Pretty much you fart and you toot. Yay. Isn't that so ladylike for us to talk about? But really, again, where maltitol comes in is usually through gifts. And I have a wonderful support system, and I hope and pray that you have a wonderful support system, and they may put some stocking stuffers for you. My family does this all the time for me, and they'll include like the Brock's sugar-free candies, which have a ton of maltitol. What I love about it is on the back of the label, it says overconsumption may cause a laxative effect. And if you have time, I encourage you to go and read the comments on these sugar-free candies, because y'all, people crazy. They will write like they poop their pants and all this stuff, but be careful with those. Again, if you can push them towards the Lilies, you could tell Santa to do that for you, that would be great. And then the final tip is be prepared to have questions. I mean, I I wouldn't be here if I wouldn't have people asking me questions. And really, it's gonna come from family. It's gonna come from the sarcastic cousin who, you know, does a one-up, like you went to Disney World, but she went to Disney World on a yacht. You know, she's that type of person, you know, kind of the Karens in your life. I just simply tell folks what I'm doing. I'm confident in that. I know some of y'all, unfortunately, do not have that support system. So I just say, you know, not eating that food makes me feel better, you know? I think that's a really nice, simple response that you can give to the icky cousins in your life. And then you can really take a positive spin about it and talk about maybe the dish that you bought. Like, I really enjoy this dish, it's delicious, it was this easy, let me talk about it, you know? So spin it to a positive side. And to continue on to watch my story of why I left the sad standard American diet behind and switched to a keto, low carb, and anti-inflammatory lifestyle, you're gonna wanna watch my story, but grab some Kleenex because it is a little heartbreaking and gay. I wish you a Happy Halloween, Happy Thanksgiving, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Mwah.